What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Sir Splash, Neighborhood Splash Guy, whatever you want to call me. And today we're doing another debunk. Now, usually I like to say during my debunks that it's nothing personal, like I don't know these people. I don't have any problem with them. Like, it's cool, they just made mistakes. But for this, bro, I don't know if I could be that civil. Because you see, ScrewAttack is the one that made this video that I'm debunking. And ScrewAttack is an actual legitimate company with paid researchers, paid employees, all that. Like, it's their job to do this. And they still mess it up in the biggest ways. And like it's not even like they missed minor details. They're just either blatantly ignoring stuff or they're just not researching, which is ridiculous, especially if you have that kind of following. They have millions of subscribers. You get the kind of views you get, you should be putting effort into it. And when you do such shitty research, clearly you're not putting effort into it, or you're just really bad at your job and should be fired. But yeah, so I will be debunking Hulk versus Doomsday. Now, this debunk will mostly consist of the things that they said and why it's wrong, as well as their outcome was wrong. Now, I will put in the clips of what they said so I'm not just, hating on them or taking them out of context. I am directly addressing things they said. Now, I'm not talking about the animation because they said the animation is just for fun. So, fine. But the facts that they explain for why they said what they said, that has to be debunked. So, let's go ahead and listen to the first dumb thing. Well, not the first dumb thing. They say a lot of dumb shit, but first point we're debunking.
Hulk may have had the advantage in raw strength, at least at his full potential, but Doomsday could certainly hold his ground. His victories against the likes of Superman and Darkseid prove he can take a hit from someone strong enough to break planets.
And by experience, Doomsday had the speed advantage. He regularly fights foes with light speed capabilities, while that kind of speed is an extreme rarity in the Marvel Universe. In fact, the only foe that fast who Hulk's ever seemed to keep pace with in a one-on-one match was Sentry, and that was when he was at his most powerful stage, Worldbreaker Hulk.
So overall,
now, they said that Doomsday regularly fights faster than light beings and holds his own. Cool beans, bro. And but the most blasphemous thing they said was Hulk has only fought a being that's around light speed once, and that was the Sentry. They said light speed is a rarity in Marvel. First off, you can name dozens of characters in Marvel that can reach light speed. But let's go over specifically who Hulk has fought that is above light speed. Now, first we're going to talk about Gladiator. Gladiator is comparable to Thor and Silver Surfer, and both of those are like millions of times speed of light. And he's actually a knockoff Marvel version of Superman. Like, he has the same powers as Superman. And Gladiator actually lost to Hulk. Gladiator is well beyond the speed of light because he has to be, especially in combat, in order to contend with someone like Thor, Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer. Now, let's talk about Thor. Thor is several times faster than light. His weapon, Mjolnir, I've already proven in another video, can travel billions of times the speed of light. It covered the entire galaxy in 30 seconds, came back in another 30 seconds. That's quadrillions of miles. Quadrillions of miles, people, in a minute. And Thor's been able to fight Galactus. Thor has stood against Thanos. Thor knocked back the Phoenix Force. So not only is he a powerhouse, but he has to have faster than light speed to contend with these beings. Like Thor can go from planet to planet, solar system in a pretty short amount of time, which is well beyond the speed of light. And same thing with Silver Surfer. He surfs supernovas. I mean, come on. Sentry, already stated, was faster than the speed of light, but Sentry can move so damn fast that he actually knocked out Thor by the velocity he was going. Like, he had Thor, and he took off, and he was going so fast that it overwhelmed Thor and knocked him out.
Doomsday.
The winner is
Hulk has
Doomsday.
also fought Ares, the god of war. who can contend with Thor and
Next
Hercules and
time
hold his
on
own.
Death Battle.
Obviously, there we go with speed. He took on Doctor Strange when Doctor Strange was
Hey guys, I'm Ben. I play
channeling
Wiz.
and
This is
using
Chatty
the
Plays
power of
Boomstick,
a
and next
demon
up we've
named
got
Zom.
Zorro from One Piece.
Zom
Stick
is
to our Twitter to
considered
find
a
out who he's gonna be
universal
fighting.
threat.
Wanna watch Death Battle on your big screen?
And like
First
when I
members
say
can now
universal,
download the
it
Xbox
actually
One and
took
Apple TV
Dormammu
apps.
and
It's great,
another
but super
to
important.
seal him
We just
away.
launched a brand new video game. It's
Now,
Super Rad Ray Gun.
Dormammu
Link in the
is the main
description.
villain
Click it.
from
Check it out.
Doctor Strange, and he is also a threat to the regular Marvel universe, like the one we usually see. So to contend with a being like that, Doctor Strange, like, he has to be able to fight at light speed, especially in that form, based on his magic. It's not a physical thing, but his magic and his power. And not only did he fight Doctor Strange when he was using Zom, he beat him. He tanked the blast and then got to him. Now, he's also fought Black Bolt, who has been shown to be around the same strength of characters like Thor and Hulk, and his shout can level planets. And this is just a shout. His whisper can destroy mountains. And when he pulled up on Black Bolt, like said something to him like no or go away. I forgot what it was. And he thought like that would take it. That would be enough to take out Hulk. But nah, Hulk came, beat the shit out of him, picked him up and said, "I came to hear you scream, little bitch. Say my name. Call me daddy." And yeah, he fucked up Black Bolt. And like Black Bolt has staggered Thanos before with his voice, just so you guys know. And Hulk has actually made Galactus feel his punches before. And Galactus, sorry for the cough. Galactus has taken on people like Odin, who has actually torn reality during fight and was destroying the universe during a fight. I think it was with Seth. And he's also competed with Abomination and Red Hulk, who both have fought the Avengers and people like Thor. Now, let's go on to another point they said.
Here's where it gets a bit tricky. The Hulk may look like a giant green monster, but he's still technically human, and his power directly correlates with his anger. A human being's anger stems from an increase in hormones and adrenaline in the body. However, the brain can only produce these chemicals at such a rate for a limited time, eventually giving up and turning apathetic. Therefore, Hulk's limitless power could never have existed without his healing factor. It's the key. It allowed his body to continue producing hormones and adrenaline far beyond the norm, theoretically an endless supply, thus increasing his superhuman power to an immeasurable degree. So, Doomsday overtaxing his healing factor meant the Hulk could no longer maintain his increasing rage and Hulk form.
They tried to say Hulk can't keep getting stronger because the human brain can only produce the chemicals necessary to create anger for a certain amount of time. This is hilarious. They are basically trying to apply logic to an illogical fiction comic book situation. Obviously, regular human anatomy does not apply to the goddamn Hulk. Like, this is easily debunked by the fact that Hulk has remained in his Hulk form for over several months, and that his body does not function like a normal human's. Humans can't regenerate their cells at a rapid pace, yet Hulk can. And this is because it's fiction, comic, superpower logic. He also has been able to, he said, when he reaches his strongest form, which is Worldbreaker Hulk, and stories like The Heart of the Monster, Hulk and Banner were thinking alike. Banner said the reason Hulk never reached his true, like, unlimited strength and to keep growing, like, to completely take away the limit, is because Bruce was suppressing him. So it wasn't because of chemicals, it was because he was being suppressed by his ego, Bruce Banner, his other, alternate version of himself, the human form. But no, Hulk, regular science, regular human, physical logic and science does not apply to the fucking Hulk. What are you talking about, my guy? He does not function like you or me. That's not what he does. Oh my god. But that's like saying the Flash can only go fast for a little bit because humans can't run that far without getting tired. No, his fucking superpowers allow him to do things. That's the same thing with Hulk. Now, another point that we just absolutely need to talk about.
And if you're still skeptical, that's why there's a bunch of times in comics when a huge impact forced the Hulk to turn back into Bruce Banner, including that battle between Worldbreaker Hulk and Sentry. With his healing power beaten down, he literally couldn't keep himself angry enough to stay in Hulk mode.
I love science, but there's still one more thing. Thanks to his battles with Superman and other Kryptonians, Doomsday has evolved to a point where it's basically impossible to kill him with brute force alone.
So they had to come at Hulk's regeneration ability, saying like it easily gets overtaxed. That, you know, Doomsday never gets taxed. Like, he doesn't get tired, he doesn't get hurt, he regenerates no problem. Hulk doesn't, though. Apparently he could be overtaxed. Like, it won't be hard for Doomsday to overtax his healing factor, which will cause him to not be Hulk anymore. Let's talk about some of the shit Hulk has done. He's a fucking tank. I already went over some of the attacks, some of the people he fought. Like, Gladiator tried to use matter manipulation, battlefield removal against the Hulk, and he ended up getting punched in his damn face for trying that shit. Like, it doesn't work against Hulk. Hulk has regenerated 90% of his body in seconds and was not overtaxed. 90% of his body mass he regenerated. He tanked a hit from a universal level threat with the Zom Ghost Rider power. He was tanking hits from Sentry. He was swapping hands with Sentry, who has the power of a million suns and really doesn't have a limit of power. He can't even die unless he wants to. He has said, I can't die unless I feel like dying. And he actually knocked out the Sentry. For some fucking reason, they said Sentry beat him and knocked him out with he like overtaxed his healing factor with his blows and speed. That's not what happened. What Sentry did was use a calming aurora ability, which made the Hulk forget why he was so pissed. And like Sentry can do that to even someone like Worldbreaker Hulk. His power set is insane. He even beat the Molecule Man, who has taken on beings like the Beyonder. He took on Molecule Man and beat him at a game of molecules. Like, he beat him at his own game. His power is that ridiculous. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. He's a reality warper, matter manipulator on an insane scale. In fact, someone was absorbing his power, and this person had absorbed power from beings like Galactus, who's considered at least multi-galaxy level. He's even absorbed Odin's power before. And when he tried to absorb Robbie Reynolds, aka Sentries, he said, "Is this what it's like to be God? Is this what it feels like?" And he was implying it was the most power he ever felt. And I already said who he had absorbed power from before. So that just tells you how fucking powerful the Sentry is. And the Sentry didn't even overtax his thing. He calmed him down with manipulation of molecule and reality manipulation. That's just his hacks. He used hacks. He didn't beat him in the fist fight. Hulk knocked him out. And Sentry actually tried to best him with his most strong energy attack, like his last-ditch effort. It didn't knock out the Hulk. Hulk ended up turning back to human because he forgot why he was mad, but he knocked out the Sentry before he did it. That is ridiculous. And like, just so you know, another proof that Sentry's power level is insane. Venus wasn't able to calm down the Hulk before, not even Worldbreaker Hulk, but she was not able to calm him down. But Venus had calmed down Zeus before. That's why I'm saying Sentry's powers are broken. And like, yeah. So, and Hulk, by the way, was actually holding back in this fight. He was being hampered by the fact that he was calming down. And him and Robbie Reynolds are friends, so he wasn't trying to kill Hulk. He didn't want to kill Sentry. He was just hitting the shit out of him. Now, let's talk about something else.
So Hulk couldn't have killed him by just getting angry enough to punch harder than Doomsday ever felt.
Precisely. Here's the proof. Superman and Doomsday eventually had a rematch, in which Superman was much more powerful than their first battle. As we discussed before, Superman's power is also potentially limitless by way of continually absorbing solar energy, and at this point in his story, he'd begun to discover that.
But try as he might, despite his increased power, Supes couldn't kill Doomsday with blunt force a second time.
Ultimately, Doomsday's immunity to being ripped, impaled, incinerated, blasted with energy, and being beaten by blunt force from both focused and multiple sources means Hulk just didn't have the options available to take Doomsday out before his healing factor was overtaxed.
So basically what they're saying that a lot of people love to go to and always claim is that Doomsday can't be killed the same way twice because of his adaptation, his reactionary adaptation. Okay, so yeah, Doomsday can't be killed this way again, is what they're saying. Like if you beat him to death, you can't beat him to death again. But that doesn't make sense if you read the comics, because he's died multiple times in the comics. Beings other than Superman have killed him, including he got stomped out by Kryptonians, he got killed by the Radiant, and killed by Imperiex. Also, his maker killed him every way in order to breed that reactionary adaptation slash invincibility trait. So logically, since they want to try to use logically, if the guy who created him used every way of killing him to make him invulnerable to it, why was he still killed by blunt force trauma? That should not have happened, because he reacted to it when he was a baby, when he was created. But it can still happen. It contradicts itself in that logic, and also Hulk is stronger than that Superman that beat Doomsday. Here's based on what I've read from Doomsday, reading through his comic, reading through his appearances, reading through the deaths, the parts where he died. Sorry if you hear the mic shifting. Let me fix this. Anyways, so here's how I interpret it. Basically, Doomsday can't be killed by a certain way by that same person again, because Superman's killed him once, Imperiex has killed him once, the Radiant has killed him once. And so to me, this means like, okay, it's kind of like I run you over with the smart car and you get killed by getting run over by the smart car. I can't kill you by running you over with that smart car again. But if a Mack truck hits your ass, you're going to die, because it's different. Even though it's blunt force trauma, even though it's in the same category, it is different because it's a different person doing it and it's a different power level. So yes, I think Hulk could beat the shit out of Doomsday. He is more than capable, especially in his World Breaker form, not only swapping hands with Doomsday, but putting him down and beating the shit out of him. Because, like I said, Doomsday's died several times before, so it's not like he can't die. And he's also, his maker killed him every way to make him immune to it, but he still died. So obviously he can die. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's just the fact Doomsday can't be killed by that same person again. But in this first matchup, that means Hulk would be able to kill him. And now, just going back to the overtaxing his regeneration, like I said, Hulk regenerated 90% of his mass in a few seconds, wasn't overtaxed. He can also absorb nuclear and radiation energy attacks, and he can use them to power up. Doomsday's heat vision is nuclear based. That's not going to do shit to the Hulk. So that other version of attack besides just physically brawling won't do anything to the Hulk. And in fact, his energy absorption of gamma radiation, nuclear radiation, and things of that nature is so potent that Doctor Strange in one comic had to actually tell him, Hulk, stop absorbing energy because it could destroy the universe. Now this is highballed, like Hulk wasn't absorbing all the stuff in the universe. They're in the nexus of two universes. And I think it was something like it would destroy the bond or something. It would make it collapse. So it's not a universal feat, but it's just saying like Hulk absorbs and puts off that kind of ridiculous, limitless energy. Like he can keep absorbing, keep putting it off. And like to show you how extreme his energy gets, his pure output of energy just by existing could destroy entire planets. This is just him sitting there, sipping tea in your hood. It's going to destroy the planet. Like when he was at his peak in Heart of the Monster, it destroys planets just from his energy output from being pissed off, his gamma energy. It just, like, I can't tell, like, I always talk about the Darth Sidious planetary boner. Hulk has a planetary plus angry boner, that, to put it simply. So yes, overall, I just went through all the facts they made for why they think Doomsday would win and proved that shit's false. I do think Hulk is too strong for Doomsday in his World Breaker form. Doomsday could match his output for a certain amount of time, but Hulk is gonna just keep getting more powerful. And I don't think Doomsday's gonna speed blitz him. Hulk's fought Sentry, Thor, Gladiator. He's not getting speed blitz. And like, I think Hulk could fucking dismember him if it came to it. It's not like Doomsday's not made of adamantium. And Hulk's bent adamantium before, vibranium, stuff like that. He snuffed Dormammu's head. snuffed his head out. Dormammu, I've already mentioned. And I also think his energy could potentially harm Doomsday. Just the pure energy he gets off while standing around could destroy planets. Imagine what's that do when he's pissed off, raging, channeling it towards someone. He actually did gain the ability to shoot radiation blasts as Worldbreaker Hulk. Like, he used the thunderclap and the energy knocked out the Red Hulk. It KO'd him. I also think he could rip his head off or decapitate him. And you can decapitate someone by hitting them hard enough, not just cutting it off. Like, especially in Marvel Comics, like if there's one comic with Dr. Octopus taking over Spider-Man, and he said, like, if Spider-Man wasn't holding back, one punch to Doc Ock would have ripped his head off, literally ripped his head off. And when Doc Ock punched Vulture hard, like he wasn't holding back with the spider powers, he decapitated him. So yes, Hulk could do it, and I think Hulk wins. ScrewAttack did their best to explain away their shitty research. That's all it was. Like, the reasons they gave at the end, basically, like, I watched a podcast they did, and they were like, dude, we couldn't figure out a way this battle would go. So, someone was like, hey, how does anger work? And we're like, that applies. Bitch, this is not Inside Out, the fucking cartoon movie. Like, that, bro, human physical logic does not apply to the Hulk. He doesn't operate like a normal human. That fact is coming under the assumption that he's a normal human. He is not normal. He's no, like, bro, that's ridiculous. But yeah, like I said, this was a debunk. This one was a little personal because it was such shitty research. And the reason I didn't make this earlier was because when I watched this battle originally, I just fucking turned it off once they said Doomsday won, and I didn't listen to their reasoning. When I heard them, the first statement that they said, light speed is very rare and rarely seen at all in the Marvel Universe, I was like, bro, come on, fam. But yes, thank you for watching. Sorry about the cough again. But anyways, if you think I'm wrong in any of this, Jesus Christ, my throat's a wreck. But anyways, if you think I'm wrong in any way or you don't agree with my debunks, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it in the comment section, maybe even make a response video. But yeah, I did all this research. I've read the Hulk comics. I've read Doomsday comics. It's not like I'm talking out of my ass. And by the way, I know they didn't read because they said Sentry overtaxed him with his physicality. No, it was the calming aurora he put off. It was that hack was the reason Hulk eventually turned back into Bruce Banner. He didn't even lose. He turned back into Bruce Banner after he knocked out the Sentry. So yes, thank you for watching. This video was personal because they know better. But anyways, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Help my channel grow. And if you have any video suggestions, leave it down below. I'll be happy to do them. This is Sir Splash, aka Neighborhood Splash Guy, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.